What's up guys, Bombgardener here, and today just another moto vlog, just out having a great time. The weather is freaking phenomenal, little bit windy, but other than that, oh my god, it's freaking awesome. So we're gonna be having a fantastic day. I think I'm like a weatherman now, because I always start the videos off with like, today the skies are, and I think I've made that joke before too. I'm just really unoriginal and terrible. But hey guys, check it out. We're rocking the MBT pants on. These are armor pants, man. They're freaking sick. If you guys don't have a pair and haven't heard of them, go to mbtclothing.com, and then whenever you check out, make sure you put code BOMB, B-O-M-B, and you'll receive 15% off your entire order, and it helps your boy out a little bit. But trust me, in the long run, they will help you out if you go down. You can get knee pads that just insert right into them, and then the hip pads. But guys, to the video, everybody has asked me, like, I like seriously, like the amount of people that have asked me this question: what is the best bike that I should get? What should I start on? What's a good starter bike? And like, I wish I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that, because it's insane. So I wanted to make that a little bit of a talking point today on what I think is the best bike for somebody to start on. So usually the first thing I ask them or tell to them whenever they DM me on Instagram is, I'll usually ask them, what kind of style do you want? Because not everybody wants this sporty tucked down feel. Not everybody wants that. It's not for everybody. Some people want the naked bike where you're a little bit higher upright, but it's still got that sporty look. Some people want the cruiser style. So what you really need to figure out is what style you want, and then whenever you get your first bike, make sure it's that style. Because say you want to ride a sport bike like this, like where you're in that aggressive stance, if you go out and buy a dirt bike, it's not going to be the same. Every time you ride it, you're going to wish that you were in that position, or wish that you looked like that. And yeah, so I think that's one of the most important things, is what style of bike are you looking for? And the best way to answer that question is to go to a bike shop, talk to the people, ask them to sit on things, ask them to sit on the dirt bike, the supermoto, the sport bike, the naked bike. If they have Harleys or cruiser style bikes, ask them to sit on that. That's going to be the best way to figure out what style fits your needs. Now, speaking on needs, everybody's going to have different needs. For me, I'm 6'4" and around 198 to 200 pounds. So for me to be on this R7, it is a little odd. I am a little bit tall for it, but I don't have any discomforts from it. I just feel like I look like a giant whenever I'm on it. That may not be true. I may look completely normal, but you do got to take into consideration your height and weight. You know, if you're a bigger guy or a bigger lady, you don't want to start on 125cc, because it's not going to be able to give you the power that you need. So you need to take that into consideration. For me, if I was going to get something other than the R7, I was going to start on an R6. Some people might say that's stupid, it's too much power, but for my height, and back then my weight, but for my height and my weight back then, that would have been totally fine for me. That would have made sense for me. What wouldn't have made sense is if I would have went out and bought like an R1 or an H2 as my first bike. That would not make sense. Even though I do have that height and weight, it's still just a little bit too much power. The R6 could pull me just fine. So now that we got those two things out of the way, that's when you could really start getting into specific makes, models of bike that you want. I'll be 100% honest with you, I recommend the R7 to a lot of people, and it's because it was my first bike and it's done me really well. I've had no complaints on it. I even crashed it at 70 and it was completely fine. Now that's probably not gonna, that's probably not gonna be the case for everybody, but in my case, the bike was totally fine. But I've had a lot of fun on the bike. Even as I have progressed as a rider, I'm still having fun. I'm not getting bored with it. Whereas if I would have started on something smaller, I probably would be pretty bored of it by now. The R7, no bike is forgiving, but the R7 is a little bit more forgiving than some bikes out there. It does have that lower end torque, so that you're going to still be able to have that fun, but it doesn't really have that super high top end, so that once you hit your 3 mark period and you think that you're invincible, you can't go 200 miles per hour on it and get yourself killed, because you're actually not that experienced and you're definitely not invincible. I had to learn that the hard way. I definitely had that mentality, but I don't have it anymore. I've been humbled. Yo, check out that bike. Hey, if you watch the channel, what up, dude? Comment. Now, another thing I kind of wanted to talk about is a lot of people will come into the stream and ask me what my opinions are on specific bikes. And I just need to kind of remind you guys that I've only been doing this since January. So I'm not really super familiar with all the different bikes, the makes. I mean, I'm familiar with the makes and the models and all that, but I don't know like the specs of them. I don't get to ride a lot of different bikes. The R7's the only bike that I ride day to day. Sometimes the buddies will let me hop on their bikes, CBR 1000, Yamaha R1. I've got a friend that's buying a Ninja 650 tomorrow that I'll be riding home for him, but I don't get to ride a lot of different bikes. So don't get mad at me or think that I'm being an a-hole whenever I can't really give you a good answer, because I just genuinely don't know anything about that specific bike that you're asking for. I just wanted to get that out there. I'm not annoyed by it in any way. Like, I understand you guys are just trying to get advice, but I just want to let you all know that, like, I'm not very experienced yet, and I just don't know all the makes and models. So just don't get upset if I can't give you a good review or opinion on a specific bike that you're asking for. Next topic. A lot of people ask if any dirt bike experience will translate over to the streets. And some people will say absolutely not. Some people say totally. I'm kind of in between. You can learn how to balance on a bike, on a dirt bike. You can learn your gears. You can learn clutch. You can learn shifting. You can learn different braking and whatnot. But street is still way different whenever you do compare it to dirt bike. First of all, the ground that you're riding on. This is a lot harder, a lot less forgiving, and there's a lot more, I don't really know how to describe it. There's a lot more things I feel could go wrong on the street. Hit an oil spot, you hit a wet spot, you hit a piece of sand, you hit a fucking piece of sand. A piece of sand, man. You've got 70-mile-per-hour vehicles coming the opposite way, going the same way, run you over. There's just so many different elements that you have to look out for. You have to be aware of what's around you, your surroundings, which, I mean, that's in dirt biking too. But you got to be aware of what this 2-ton car next to you is going to do whenever you're right next to them. Are they going to see you? I think I'm going a little bit too into detail, but yes, some dirt bike technique can translate over. Like I said, balance, shifting, clutch, but there is a lot of new things that you're going to have to learn whenever you do get a street bike. So to try to answer what I think the best beginner bike is, I've got two answers for you. If you want if you want an actual bike recommendation, like a specific bike, I'm not just saying it because I have it, or maybe I am, I don't know, honestly, but I highly recommend the 2022 Yamaha R7, especially if it's your very first bike. I think this is a fantastic beginner bike, and just for so many different reasons. The weight, the torque, you're still going to have fun even whenever you get more experience. I think this is a really good option. The second answer is go to your local bike dealership, speak to the people, and there's a really good way to test if you can actually trust the person that is selling you the bike. You can tell if they want to make a sale or if they actually care about you. Go into your dealership, find the biggest, fastest bike you possibly can. If they've got an H2 in there, go to it. If they've got an R1, any leader bike, whatever, go to the biggest, baddest, fastest bike that you can find. And once you find it, go in there, sit on it, pull this lever right here a few times, and say, "Sir, is that the clutch?" And if they don't tell you to get off that bike, you might not be able to trust them. If they continue to try to sell that bike to you and they're not recommended a smaller beginner bike, you probably can't trust them. But anyways, go to your dealership, talk to the people, get to know the bikes, get to look at them, get to sit on them, get a feel for them, and that is going to be the best way to answer your question on what bike should I get. Guys, I totally appreciate you all watching. The love you all have been showing. I say this every video, but the love you guys have been showing has just been absolutely crazy. We just hit 50,000 followers on Instagram. 50 freaking thousand, man. That's insane. And any of you guys on Instagram that aren't subbed to the YouTube yet, make sure you come sub to the YouTube. We got to share some love to the YouTube. For real, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all so much. Goodbye. Peace.